Ladies and gentlemen, happy game week. We have finally made it week one, officially week one, because yes, we did have week 0 of the college football season last Saturday, but all the games we really care about is this Saturday, and if you're a Tennessee fan, that's on Thursday, but that's what we're here to do today. Week 1 SEC picks in 2021. I cannot wait. We did these all of last season. We're going to continue it on to this season. And this is the first time we're doing this with the North to South show. Last season, I had not started the North to South show yet, but we still did the weekly SEC picks. So I 100% am going to continue to do those. So we got 14 different games. Obviously, that is much different than last season because last season we were having max 7 games, 7 SEC games a season. Obviously, you couldn't play out-of-conference opponents last season. We were only playing SEC games. Therefore, you can only play SEC opponents, maximum of 7 games in a week. We got 14 here, all out-of-conference games. Some of them, high magnitude, very intriguing games. There are 2 specifically that I'm very, very, very intrigued to see. There are 2 after that I'd say I'm decently excited to watch, and then the rest are basically all just out-of-conference opponents that should be wins for those teams. So we're going to have some obvious picks, but there are some games that obviously you know what I'm talking about that are going to be the main reason you're watching this video. So guys, sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Now, I got to do a bit of a disclaimer before I start. We will not be doing any South Carolina picks, and this counts for this week and weeks prior. As you may know, if you have been keeping up with the channel, I am now a student at the University of South Carolina, and just personal reasons and other stuff going on that I don't really want to share, I don't want to talk about the South Carolina Gamecocks because I am a student here. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I just feel like it's better for me if I do not talk about the Gamecocks. So I'm not going to be making picks for any weeks of the Gamecocks. If you're a Gamecocks fan, I apologize, but that doesn't mean that we are not going to go in depth to each and every other team in the SEC. So let's get started with the Thursday game. We got September 2nd at 8 o'clock. Bowling Green versus Tennessee. Now, this game is going to be played in Tennessee. This game is going to be on SEC Network. There's no really question, like I told you guys before starting this, that we were going to have some obvious picks, and this is going to be one of them. Tennessee is favored by 35 in this game. Joe Milton was just named the starter for this game. Tennessee's going to win. I'm going to pick Tennessee outright in this game. I don't think there's any shock about that, but it's going to be interesting to see this high-powered Tennessee offense, if they're able to get to the level that many people talk to them about being. Obviously, Joe Milton coming in from Michigan, lots of high hopes there. Guys like Jalen Hyatt, guys like Velus Jones Jr., tons of big pass catchers on Tennessee that should be successful this season, and you're basically just going to want to have the most clean and error-free game that you can have in a first game before Tennessee really starts to kick it into their SEC schedule and everything like that. So Tennessee gets Bowling Green this week. I'm pretty sure they get Pitt after that. Then they get Tennessee Tech. And then I'm pretty sure after that you have a game against Florida. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's how Tennessee's schedule shapes out. I'm taking them against Bowling Green. No questions there. Next game up, 12 o'clock game on September the 4th. So the last game, the Tennessee game, is going to be played on Thursday. These games are now going to be played on Saturday. We got one 12 o'clock game, only one SEC 12 o'clock game. We got UL Monroe versus Kentucky. Same thing as the Tennessee situation. I think Kentucky's going to be a decent team. They're going to be a dangerous team in the SEC East. I don't want to say they're going to be a threat in the SEC East to win it because I still feel like there's a bit of a gap between the teams that I feel like can be able to win it and where Kentucky's at right now. But Kentucky's going to be a dangerous team, or a game that you may end up losing in your season if you're one of those top-tier SEC East teams. Kentucky's got a great offense this year. They got an amazing offensive line. Chris Rodriguez in the running game. I feel like they're going to have one of the most successful rushing games in all of the SEC this year. Definitely in the SEC East. Wan'Dale Robinson is a guy that many people are excited to look for this season, and you're going to have Will Levis as your quarterback over there in Kentucky. Now, again, you're playing UL Monroe. This should be a win, so I'm going to take Kentucky here. It's really just setting you up. Same thing. This is the same situation as Tennessee's in. You're playing a group of 5 team. You should be able to win, and I'm going to take Kentucky in this one. Next up, coming up at 2 o'clock, we got this on SEC Network Plus and ESPN Plus. We have Rice versus Arkansas. Now, Same thing as the last two games. It's going to take us a while to get into the games that are actually going to make me think about who I'm going to pick. I'm taking Arkansas here. Lots to look forward to for this season for Arkansas, especially offensively. Let's see how KJ Jefferson does. I think that's going to be your main focal point here. Is he able to go out and have an error-free game against Rice? Because after that game, next week, you play Texas, and that is obviously one of the biggest games that Arkansas has. So you're going to have a lot leading up to that. Make all your mistakes, or you want to try to make as little mistakes as possible. But if you are going to make any mistakes, make sure that they are this week and you get them cleaned up for that Texas game, because you do not want to be making mistakes in that game. But I'm taking Arkansas over Rice. Again, Group of 5 versus SEC game. No questions asked there. I'm taking Arkansas. Now we get to an interesting game, because at 3:30 on ABC, we have Alabama at Miami. Miami's technically the home team. This game will be played in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the first game. This is a game that I'm minorly interested in seeing, because yes, it's a 1 versus 14. On paper, seeing a 1 versus 14 always should excite you, because you have two ranked teams. Anytime you see two ranked teams, it should be an exciting game, especially when you have a top 15 matchup. But I just feel like there's such a talent gap between Alabama and Miami right now. And don't get me wrong, Miami's still a great team. I cannot wait to see what De'Aaron King is able to do this year. I think in terms of the ACC, Miami is a great football team. Now, when you're pairing them up against a guy like Alabama or a team like Alabama, I think we're talking about a different story. Lots of people want to talk down on Bryce Young and say that his offense this season isn't going to be as good as Alabama's offense was last season. I think that all comes to a hold after this game. When you see Alabama and Bryce Young in this offense finally go out and take the field, and you see what Bryce Young is capable of, all that will go out the window, and Bryce Young will be talked about as one of the best quarterbacks in college football after the first game, because they are going up against a decent Miami team, and Alabama's going to score some points in this game. I guarantee you that. So I'm taking Alabama. I just don't feel like Miami is at the level that Alabama is currently at right now for me to be able to pick Miami over Alabama. Next up at 4 o'clock, we have Louisiana Tech versus Mississippi State. Same situation. I'm going to take Mississippi State here. We're playing a group or Mississippi State's playing a group of 5 team. They're playing on ESPNU. No really big questions here. How does Will Rogers play? How does the receiving corps play? How does all these different units play? It's just going to be a warm-up game, getting Mississippi State really kicked into this season, seeing how Mike Leach is able to do in his second year at Mississippi State. So still lots to tell about Mississippi State, but this will be a good first game to be able to tell where Mississippi State's heading. Obviously, I think that's going to be a win, so I am taking the Bulldogs in this game. Going on to the next one, same situation, Missouri versus Central Michigan. That game will be at 4 o'clock on SEC Network. Missouri is a team that I feel like Kentucky, is a dangerous team in the SEC East. Do I think Missouri is going to go out and win the SEC East this year? No, but I think that they're a team that could give Florida a scare. I think that they're a team that could give Georgia a scare. And you're going to see a lot about how this offense is looking this year, because I think they got a good offense. You're getting Connor Bazelak back, who is reigning SEC Freshman of the Year. I think you got a good running back game where you got Beatty back there. And then even the receivers, I think that there's a lot to look forward to with Missouri this season offensively, and you're going to see that come to life against Central Michigan at 4 o'clock. I'm taking Missouri in this game. No questions about it. Next game up, again, another one of these group of 5 games. We got Auburn at Akron. Akron at Auburn, sorry. That game is going to be at 7 o'clock, so the rest of these games are all going to be night games. Only very, very few afternoon games in the SEC to kick off the season. Tons of night games, but this game will be played on SEC Network Plus and ESPN Plus. Auburn, again, you're bringing in Brian Harson's first season. There's lots to be looking forward to there. Bo Nix, let's see how he performs in this new Auburn offense. Let's see how all these new schemes come to fruition. In the first game, you play Akron first. You're really just leading up towards this Penn State game coming up in a couple weeks. I mean, Auburn should be able to win all the games leading up to that Penn State game, but that's what you're really looking forward to. So just go out, be able to establish scoring points, because if Auburn isn't able to score a decent amount of points against Akron, against Georgia State when they play them, I can't remember who the other team they play is, but if you cannot score against those teams, you are not going to beat Penn State. Flat, easy, no questions about it, but I'm still taking Auburn 110% in this game. Next up, Finally, we've got to the game that basically you're watching this video for, because Georgia versus Clemson, 7:30 on ABC, primetime game of the season, being played in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you've watched my channel, if you watched the North to South show and all that, you would know that I have already done a bit of a pregame breakdown a long time ago, like I'm talking months ago. So just an early preview in this, and in that early preview, in my early pick, I did take Georgia. Since then, even though Georgia has had some losses, Darnell Washington is going to be out in this game. We know Eric Gilbert is not with the team right now. You know, Smith is out right now. These are going to be two amazing teams going at it. I cannot wait to watch it. You're going to see tons of NFL talent hit the field in this game. Why did I pick Georgia over Clemson in that game? In this game months ago, I just feel like Georgia has the experience. I really like to see where JT Daniels and what he's able to do coming into this game. Obviously, DJ has played some games with Clemson. He played the Notre Dame game last year. He played a couple other ones. But it's obviously still Trevor Lawrence's team. This is going to be DJ's first game with Clemson being his team. This is now DJ's team. It's not Trevor Lawrence's team. You're not playing for Trevor Lawrence. You are playing for DJ now. He is the starting QB for Clemson going forward. You're going up in the primetime slot against one of the best teams in the nation, against one of the best defensive lines in the nation, against one of the best defenses in the nation. It's going to be very, very exciting to see what DJ is able to do, really developing his career forward. I'm sticking with Georgia. I picked them a couple months ago, and since then, I really have not seen anything to make me want to change my pick. Even though Georgia is dealing with some injuries that, yes, could sway me in the direction of picking Clemson. I know Clemson's the favorite. I know Clemson's favored by 4 in this game. I still feel really, really confident about this Georgia team. I love where their offense is at. That's not me saying that I don't love where Clemson's offense is at. These two teams are going to be playoff teams, in my opinion. I picked both of these teams to make it to the playoff. That's how good I think both of these teams are. But for the current situation right now, I think that the Georgia Bulldogs come out of Charlotte, North Carolina with a win in this game. So give me the Georgia Bulldogs. I feel like they're going to have the more experience in this game, and I just feel like that they're going to come out with the firepower in this game. That I'm excited to see what Clemson's able to do early on, but I really, really, really do feel confident that the Georgia Bulldogs are going to come out with a win in this game. So I am taking the Georgia Bulldogs there. Next up at 7:30, we have FAU at Florida. This is going to be played at SEC Network. Same thing with the other games that I've talked about, the other group of 5 games. It's FAU, it's Florida. Florida's the 13th best team in the country. We're going to see how Emory Jones plays in this game. I think Florida has an amazing offense this season. I think that it is not talked about enough how good Florida's offense is going to be. I don't think it's going to be at the level that it was last year, don't get me wrong. But I think for what people give them credit for, Florida is going to have an amazing offense this year. You're going to see a lot of points being scored in this game. I'm taking Florida, no questions about it. Don't need to go into too much detail because Florida, Week 3 plays Alabama. You're really preparing yourself for that game because I'm pretty sure after this you travel to USF in Tampa to go take them on. And you obviously got the biggest game of your season, or one of the biggest games of your season, when Alabama comes to the Swamp. Coming up at 8 o'clock on Saturday, Kent State at Texas A&M on ESPNU. Same thing. Texas A&M is the 6th best team in the country. Kent State is unranked. They're a group of 5 team. I'm taking Texas A&M. No questions about it. You don't even got to question me. Haynes King, excited to see how he plays in his first game. I really, really, really want to see where this offense is at because this is going, I'm not saying this game in total, but these first couple games that Texas A&M plays, this game, the Colorado game, a bunch of other games after that, is going to really help me determine how I feel about this Texas A&M offense and if I feel good enough about this Texas A&M team going up against Alabama in Week 6 because I need to see something offensively. I know Texas A&M has the defense. I'm very confident in Texas A&M's defense this year. I need to see Texas A&M's offense put up a lot of points this season. I know they have the talent to do it. They have the best running back room in the SEC. I already said that. They got amazing wide receivers. They got a good O-line. They got a good quarterback. I need to see them put some points up on the board. So if I want Texas A&M, if I want to be able to pick Texas A&M against Alabama in Week 6, I'm going to have to see this offense get going. Did I say I picked? Yeah, I said I picked Texas A&M. I'm sorry. 8 o'clock, September the 4th, Eastern Tennessee State travels to Nashville to take on the Vanderbilt Commodores. This game is going to be played on SEC Network Plus and ESPN Plus. Clark Lea's first game with Vanderbilt, it should be a win. if this is not a win for Vanderbilt, it is going to be a very, very, very long season for Vanderbilt. Plain and simple like that. This isn't even a group of 5 team. This is a FCS team that you are playing. Ken Seals, let's see how he does back for next season with Vanderbilt. But Clark Lee, if you want to start out good in Vandy and if you want to get this program going in the direction that you want it to go, this is a must-win game. So I'm taking Vanderbilt. I'm going to take Vanderbilt in this game, but it's a must-win game. You have to win this if you're Clark Lee. Finishing up, still got 2 games, my bad. Finishing up with my last 2 games. The last game on Saturday, honestly, it's the Georgia-Clemson one's going to be the game of the year. So I already know that that's the one I'm most excited for, but I am almost just as excited for this one because at 8:30, we have LSU traveling to UCLA on Fox, which is going to be a very underrated game. Now, if you did watch week 0 of college football like I did, you would have seen UCLA have an amazing game against Hawaii. Now, obviously, you're going to say, it's Hawaii. Why do we care? Like, yes, anyone could have put up those numbers against Hawaii. Yes, that is true, but like when I hear stuff like that, when I hear people talking about like, oh, it was just against this opponent, I'm just like, well, what did you want the team to do? Like, not put up points against them? Did you not want UCLA to do that? Like, what were you expecting them to do? Because UCLA did what they had to do against Hawaii. They had an amazing productive game, especially on the ground. Zach Charbonnet, the Michigan transfer, had an unbelievable start to his UCLA career. UCLA is going to be a tough out for LSU this season. Obviously, LSU is ranked as the 16th best team in the country. UCLA is unranked currently, but this is a game that I have said is going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think it's going to be. Now, luckily for LSU, UCLA's strength is their rushing game. I think LSU has one of the best D-lines in all of the SEC this season. So I think it is going to be a battle in the trenches. I'm very excited to see what they can do there. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I felt like was a bit shaky with his arm. And obviously when you're going up against a secondary like LSU has with Derek Stingley, you got guys like Elias Ricks, you got guys like Sage Ryan, tons of great guys on that LSU secondary. If Dorian Thompson-Robinson isn't able to throw the ball around, I think LSU is going to be able to take advantage of this game. But I think this game is going to be close. Cannot wait to see Max Johnson come out of here and hopefully come out with a win. I'm going to be cheering for LSU in this game because obviously I want to see the SEC perform well. But do not be shocked if you see this game as a less than 7-point differential at the end of the day. I am going to take LSU, but I'm just cautioning you, this UCLA team is not going to be an easy out. Many people have told me that this is going to be an absolute blowout. I'm not going to believe it till I see it. I think UCLA keeps the game close, but I am going to take LSU in this game. Finishing up at 8 o'clock, this is on a Monday. So this is Monday, September the 6th on ESPN. This game is going to be played in Atlanta, Georgia. We have Louisville and Ole Miss playing in Atlanta. One of the best offenses in the SEC. Cannot wait to see Ole Miss hit the field back. Again, can't wait to see Matt Corral, who I think right now is the best quarterback in all the SEC. Cannot wait to see him get back out on the field. Ole Miss is a 10-point favorite. I think Louisville could put up a decent fight early, but I just think Ole Miss's offense and Lane Kiffin and everything like that is going to come out firing in this game. I'm taking Ole Miss. I took Ole Miss on my early pick. I've already kind of previewed this game a long time ago, but I'm going to stick with my pick. I just feel too good about this Ole Miss team, and I haven't seen enough or heard enough good about Louisville yet to be able to call this game a win for Louisville, especially against a high-powered offense like Ole Miss, because Louisville, if they want to win this game, no matter how good they play defensively, you got to be able to score because Ole Miss is going to score the ball a ton in this game. So those are my 13 picks for week 1 of the SEC. I think I'm going to start keeping track of them this year and see what my total record is at the end of the season because you always think that it should be over 500 and everything like that, but it's those upset games that always get you. I want to keep track of them this year, so that's what I'm going to do. So those are my picks, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have an amazing weekend. That's all I want to say to you guys. Have the best weekend you possibly can because college football is back. If you're going to be in the stands, I'm going to be in the stands on Saturday at one of these games. If you're going to be in the stands, have the time of your life. If you're going to be watching on TV, have the time of your life. If you're going to be tailgating with your friends and family, please do yourself a favor and have the time of your life. So guys, thank you. Comment, subscribe, like the video. Thank you for watching, and definitely come back next time.